Welcome guys to another episode of the Rize. Now today's one is going to be aimed at a slightly different audience, and I'm going to be covering my journey from zero to building a business of over 100 clients. It's going to be a real insightful one today for anybody that's either thinking about starting a coaching journey or is currently on their coaching journey looking to get more clients, work on retention or work on being or just excelling themselves as a coach. So I've broken this video down into kind of like two main pillars which I think have helped me massively as a coach. And the first one's going to be all about yourself, and then the next part's going to be all about clients. So starting with the first pillar, you. Now I always say to everyone when they're looking at starting to be a coach, you need to display certain characteristic traits before you can coach and take others through that process. You need to show a level of discipline and commitment to a certain endeavor, and make sure that you've done and led by example before you start taking others down this process. As for one, people to be inspired by you, and second, for you to be in a position to coach, you need to have a high standard for yourself and what you hold yourself to then take others through that process. It's like a simple analogy that a lot of people use is you wouldn't take driving lessons from somebody that hasn't learned to drive. Therefore, when you're coaching, you need to have done a certain amount of things and hold yourself to that standard before you can then take others down that path. And that's not saying you need to have competed in a show or won a pro card or whatnot to be a coach. Yes, them things will help you leverage coaching, but the fundamental key things is that you can display traits and characteristics of somebody that's deserving of being a coach and can lead others through that role. So I always say to anybody before they're looking at starting out to be a coach, make sure the standard for yourself is high and you're committing to things to show that you can uphold what you're then taking others through. Closely linked to that, I've put down here, you need to have a natural pull towards wanting to help people. And I use myself as example. I remember being that kid in school that everyone would come to for like gym bro advice. And it would be like, Cal, I'm doing this split right now, is that good? Or one I used to get all the time was, do I front load my creatine? All things like that. And from an early age, before I even started coaching, people would always ask advice and I'd always be wanting and willing to help them. Just to make that process easier, as I know how challenging it was for me to start, not necessarily having all the information, all the experience. So from a young age, I always had that natural pull towards wanting to help people. And I think to be a good coach, you need that. You need to make sure that you've got that natural pull towards wanting to help people. Combine that with the first point of having yourself in a position where you're displaying those traits is a perfect combination to really first starting off that journey towards being a coach. Leading into the next part, something that I also say to people a lot is if things aren't going your way as a coach and you're not getting the inquiries or you're not getting the kind of traction that you want, always look inward. This is something I've done with myself for so long, in that if I'm not getting inquiries, if I'm not getting the type of content or engagement on the content that I'm putting out, I'll always reflect inwards and say, what can I do to be better? Can I produce better content? Can I offer more value? Can I give more to the clients that I'm currently working with? And I think it's so easy for all of us to be in that kind of victim mentality of, if I'm not getting clients, it's the wrong time of the year or not the right time now. There must be something wrong with everybody else. When I think the most powerful thing you can do as a coach is reflect inward and say, what can I do to be better that's going to make people then inquire with me? And I think that's a really powerful way to look at things, because it allows you to keep evolving and getting better, so that the only thing that then comes from that is what you want, whether that's more inquiries, better engagement to get more inquiries, or better client retention. So having that ability to reflect inward when things aren't going well or aren't moving forward in the direction that you want, to be able to look on improving yourself to then get more people in or work with more people. And then similar to that point, when things are going well and you are getting inquiries, also look at what you're doing right. I think it's easy to be in that kind of like reflective mindset of what can I do better when things aren't going your way, but also doing the same thing when things are going well. What have I done recently which has led to them inquiries? What have I done recently with this client or that client that's led to them talking about that coaching experience and then getting more people from that? So really reflecting on yourself as a coach and what you're doing wrong, what you could be doing better, and what you are doing right is three really powerful ways to make sure you're always evolving and always improving. Now, moving into segment two, as I say, that first one's all about how you can be the best coach and how you can make yourself better to then be deserving of coaching more people. So the second segment is also going to be a lot more about like the clients and the actual coaching process. So the first thing I've got down here is client experience. And this is something that I think, from my personal experience, having been coached, I've been able to create my whole coaching experience around what I would have liked to receive myself in that position. So how I always look at it whenever I onboard a client is how can I give that client the best experience possible with me, whether that's losing 30 pounds, gaining 10 pounds of muscle, or going through their first comp prep. I'm always assessing where they're at, what it is they need from me to get the best experience possible. And that coaching tip alone will take you so far within this industry, because there are a lot of people that are in it for the wrong reasons, unfortunately. And if your sole focus of coaching is how can I give the best experience possible alongside helping that client achieve that goal, it's going to be one of the easiest ways to make sure that you're always busy or always continuing to get busy as a coach. Similar to that point, the next bit I've got down here is show the clients that you care. Make sure you're remembering things that mean something to them, whether they've mentioned that on their inquiry form, or let's say, for instance, they've said they want to be ready for this wedding or for this shoot date. Pay attention to the things that the client wants and make sure you remember what it is that they're coming to you for, and really deliver on that promise that you gave them at the start of that commitment to make sure you deliver that result and then over deliver in just remembering and reciting that reason that they're going through the process. So actually caring about the clients that you're working with as well as delivering the result is a perfect combination for not just getting more clients, but also retaining the clients that you've got. Next part I've put into that is time in person. I think, yes, we're online coaches and what we do is predominantly through online and that's what we sell. But to go above and beyond and do things in person builds a level of rapport for that coaching relationship that you just don't have online, in my opinion. I think you can still have a very strong relationship online, as I do a lot with my American clients. But when I'm able to see clients in person and really kind of build that in-person rapport, them coaching relationships last years, 2 years, where we've got such a solid relationship and have gone above what the original commitment was of online. So make time to go see your clients, invest in their journeys as well as pursuing your own progress is another way to do extremely well as a coach. Last but not least on that point, like I put there, is build a solid working relationship. Your coaching process with clients isn't just, there's your check-in feedback. It's, there's your check-in feedback, let me know how that is. And be more than just, here's your feedback, here's this, here's that change. And build a good relationship with the people that you're working with. Know what they like to do, know their hobbies. I'm not saying you need to be completely invested in their life and be their therapist, but have a good working relationship with them people. That's only going to mean your retention is a lot higher. And in my opinion, you enjoy the job more. I know when clients check in, sometimes it's not just about the check-in, it's other things that we spoke about through the week. Like there's more to coaching than just the physique side and what it is you're delivering from a result standpoint. What does all that I've just listed there lead to? 1, results. If you can have a good working relationship with clients, give them that time in person and invest in their journey as much as you invest in your own, you're gonna get results. It's impossible not to. And that result builds trust to everybody else that you show that result to. And also it then leads to more inquiries through word of mouth and that client, as I say, being overwhelmed with that experience you've given them through the coaching. It then leads to results for that exact client. So again, that client's gonna walk away from that experience happy. And 9 times out of 10, if you've done that whole coaching process right, that client leaves for a period of time, they'll always come back. I constantly have people coming back after they've achieved a holiday diet, then wanting that accountability and support again. So it's not just about another client, a new client. It's also about the clients that you worked with previously, over delivering for them, and then 9 times out of 10, they'll come back and work with you in the future. Last but not least, I've put credibility to your name and business. This is something that's so important within coaching, is that, again, you deliver all of what I've just spoke about, but then what you build off the back of that is a stepping stone in your brand name, the business, and ultimately what you then become as a coach is predicated on the people that you've worked with and the experience that you've given them. So all of them parts I've just mentioned there are super important to delivering for the client in the actual coaching process. Segment 3, some pointers and tips along the way. So just to quickly reference back to point 1 and 2, segment 1 is all about making yourself the best version of you so you can coach the most effectively. Segment 2 is all about clients delivering the service and going above and beyond to meet their results, but also build a really good rapport in that process. Moving on to the points and tips. Content. Do not worry about what it is you're posting. Yes, you need to post like certain things. You can't post relatable things that aren't coaching, but post what you want to post on social media. I think it's so easy with business mentors creating you like content plans. I'm not saying they don't work, but in my experience, post what you want to post. Stuff that genuinely means something to you, whether that's training, whether that's your knowledge on a certain subject, will come through the more you post about it and the more you show your experience in that area. So you can use a rough content plan, but you don't need to say at this exact time I'm going to post this every week if it's something that people are 9 times out of 10 going to scroll past. So think with content volume. Put it out there, let people see your face, let people see your name, as the odds of everyone taking in that one piece of content that you post is quite slim. So volume with content. Next is going to be show and document. As I said there with the 2 segments, there's 2 ways you can leverage your coaching page. One, for your own personal journey and what it is you're doing actively as a coach. Second, through all of your clients. Document that process of your evolution as a coach and also that client's evolution of their coaching journey with yourself. Next is I've put here, split into half coaching, half leading. And this is something that I do quite a lot on my page, is that you'll see an even balance of what I'm doing, whether that's steps, training, food prep, alongside all of my clients and what they're doing. It's not just all clients, it's not just all me, it's a mix of both, which puts me in that leader role to be able to show and document what I'm doing as well as helping others do that as well. Next, give it time. There's going to be good months of coaching, there's going to be bad months of coaching, there's going to be some months that you get a lot of inquiries, other times you get 0. That is all part of the process. Something that I say with a lot of people that I mentor is that the correlation between physique development and coaching is massive. It is all about showing up every day, doing the same thing over and over again and getting a little bit better at it. Whether that's one more piece of content you post in your story, one more rep in the gym, it's all about showing up daily and doing a little bit more than you did before. Over time, that consistency will never fail. So making sure you remember that correlation whenever you're having a rough month with coaching or you lose some clients that you invested a lot into. Remember, there's ups and downs, there's highs and lows, like everything. Next one is going to be, it's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week job. I think a lot of people get into the coaching thinking it's easy, it's just as a check-in. It's a consistent job. There aren't like set days off. Yes, the job can work in your favor, doing things in your own times here and there, but make sure that you know before you get busy what you're letting yourself in for. If you do well, and if you apply all the things that I've said in this video, you're going to grow, you're going to get busier. So make sure it's something that you can commit that time to, as there will be days it feels like you don't get a break for sometimes weeks, months on end. Last bit there, like I mentioned, is the link between coaching and physique development is so similar. If you can bodybuild, you can coach. It is showing up every day, doing the same thing, but on a different platform. On bodybuilding, you show up, you meet your steps, you stick to your food, you do your training. With coaching, you post your content, you check in with your clients, you do a good job. Consistently over time, that's never going to fail you. So adopting that same mentality, if you've gone through your own bodybuilding journey, in realizing the similarities there, really not that far. Last but not least, on the kind of like tips and pointers I've called it, is knowing that your position as a coach is something to be extremely grateful for. You're able to have an impact on so many different people's lives through what you do. And I think sometimes as a coach, it's easy to become complacent with that, thinking, here's just a check-in, here's the feedback. Whereas I always try and imagine my feedback as the point in someone's day that's either gonna give them energy, give them a boost of motivation, whatever it is. I think realizing your power as a coach that you can have to assist your clients in what it is they're working towards and keeping them on that path, which is just progressive, is super important to being a good coach and also making sure you can get the best out of your clients. And the last point to leave you on there, guys, is realizing that the coaching space can be an industry that, if you love it and you're in the right reasons, it can change your life. As I say, from that last point, you can be impacting and being so positive to so many different people's lives, as well as building a successful business and a reputable name for yourself. The opportunity there for that is massive. So if you're in it for the right reasons, you love what it is you do as a coach and you love helping people, realize that if you give it your all, it can flourish to be something which you will look forward to doing every single day. So remembering that throughout the process, that the opportunity there to keep growing and get better is always going to be available if you're willing to grow and improve. So combining both or all 3 segments that I put there is kind of like the key fundamentals to 1, being a good coach, 2, getting results, and 3, loving what you do. So I hope that video was useful, guys. If anybody's got any questions, anything that they want my help with, either drop us a DM on Instagram or comment below on the video. Thanks for watching.